Don't tell anyone. I'm on a secret mission deep inside HOA stand, and I'm with Meal Team 6. Normally, I go by KC9USB at POTA time, but today they call me the Golden Corral Goblin. And if you're like me and you live in an HOA and you're dealing with this and you want to put up a VHF, UHF antenna, I have a secret weapon. So stick around. I'm going to show you all how I set this up. Maybe make it a little bit more stealthy than the ghillie suit. Well, not really. This is a J-Pole, aka copper cactus. This is made by and I got this from Michael, KB9VBR. And if you guys don't know his channel, definitely check it out. One of my favorite ham tubers. So yeah. All right, stick around. Whew, that thing was hot. God bless our snipers. Those are crazy things to wear. Just to get the disclaimer out of the way, I'm not paid for, endorsed, sponsored by anybody. This antenna I bought completely on my own with my own money. So the opinions set forth will be mine and mine alone. One of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I am going to prep this antenna. Now, you don't have to paint it. You can just put it straight up. You can put it together, put it up, you're good to go. I'm going to paint it because I'm probably going to leave this up most of the year once it's up, hopefully, if the HOA doesn't make me take it down. When you first get the antenna, one thing that comes in the box here from Michael, KB9VBR, is you get a nice little instruction. And this does explain what I'm about to show also. I had the same antenna before, and it lasted a long time, and it was actually on top of my roof, actually on the chimney, so it was a pretty high point. I did paint it, and it did last a long time. Unfortunately, it was broken by some roofers. Along with that being said, please, you don't even need to put in the comments. I understand you could build this. That's absolutely up to you. I did not. By the time I bought all the materials to build another one, I probably would have been looking at almost the same amount of money. Okay, so for the first part of our process, we are going to scrub this down with a Scotch-Brite or its generic counterpart. So I'm going to do that and I'll be back. Okay, now that we're done with the Scotch-Brite, which, man, it actually looks really nice once it's kind of polished up a little bit. I almost don't want to paint it. Now, the next step is you want to take some rubbing alcohol. You want to scrub this down with the rubbing alcohol just to kind of get any of the oils or any of the contaminants that are still left on it, so that way the paint adheres to the metal better. Also, a note about the paint. You want to make sure that you use paint that does not have metallic in it. It will actually say for metals on the paint can, those may contain zinc or other metals inside the paint, which can then throw off your antenna. So just use regular, well, I'm gonna also use a primer on mine, and then I got some cool Rust-Oleum camouflage, flat, deep forest green. So we're gonna wipe this down with the rubbing alcohol and we'll be back. Okay, so we're done with wiping this down with the rubbing alcohol, and as you can see, there were some pretty dirty spots, and then there's also one spot like where the price tag was. Just took a little bit of extra scrubbing, but now it's off. If I wasn't trying to hide this as much as I can, I would probably just leave it at this. It actually looks pretty nice. Next part is we're gonna paint it. I don't wanna get paint on my camera, so I'm gonna put the primer on and then I'll show you what happened. Couple things to note here before I start painting this. When you tighten these two pieces together, this just goes on hand tight, just enough to where it's just snug, and that's it. What I'm also gonna do is I'm actually going to put some tape right here and some tape on the connector right there, the UHF connector, so that way I don't get any paint or primer on that. Michael also suggests that at this juncture right here between these two pieces, that you use some kind of oil just so that the threads don't corrode together. I'm actually going to put a little bit of no-ox in there, and yeah, should be good to go. I'll be back. This is to kind of show what this would look like from the street or the sidewalk. Antenna is going to go right back there. All right, so just got the last coat of paint on here. It's kind of hard to tell because the sun is going down. That is that green color. It's just kind of hard to see right now. So we're probably going to have to wait till tomorrow for this to dry off, and then we'll get it mounted. Put it up and connect it. Next day, this is the antenna painted up here. I have the pole that it's gonna go on just kind of laying across my deck here so I could get to everything easier before I put it up. The antenna connection, I have no-ox on the connectors. Then I've got electrical tape. Then I've got this, I believe it's 3M, it's called like mastic tape, I believe. That's this thick stuff right there. A little bit of the electrical tape, and then I got the heat shrink there for the connector. Got a drip loop, some ferrite beads, reduce any CM, and the coax. I just have it held just kind of snug, not really tight. You don't want to over tighten these zip ties because you can ruin your coax. I've seen that done. This is just snug. It's just going to hold the coax against the pipe here. Also, when you snip these cable ties, be very careful because these are sharp. Back in the telecom days, if we did use these, which we very rarely did, we would have to go through and file these down because you can cut your fingers or whatnot on these. The antenna is held in with pipe clamps. That's the other one. And I also have my Meshtastic repeater that's going to be held on here. Next step is we're going to throw this against my little holder that I made here on the fence. The mast just goes right in here. The reason why I'm using this also is because these clamps were too big. The pipe just goes right in here. If I need to take it down, it just goes right back up and it's out.
Few moments.
The antenna has been erected.
Sorry you guys had to witness that. Just kind of looking at it from a little bit closer here. Keeps going up, up. So now that I got the antenna up, we're gonna kind of walk along the sidewalk here. This is what it would look like from the sidewalk. The big tree right there, the front yard. Trying to hold this as steady as I can. This is with the better camera. To me, you can barely see it. Let me try to zoom in here and just barely make out that pipe, barely. It's hidden pretty well. You really have to look for it to see it. So over here where the coax comes down, without glaring out the sun here, coax comes down, goes right along the fence there, just behind this lilac bush, I think. And it's gonna go down to surge/lightning protectors from Palomar. So it's gonna go into the one, the other one's from my HF. And then it's gonna run back the coax is then going to go into the house, off of there. It's gonna run just on the ground behind all this, under there, past this. And then there's a little gap in the window well, just enough to get a cable coax through there. Then it goes down to the basement window where I use one of the Comet jumpers, which I will show you in a minute. So we are in the basement and just wanted to give you guys a quick look at the cable coax. So it kind of comes down the side here of the window well. Got it laying there. I did have it nice and coiled up, but it kind of uncoiled on me there. And then I got it coming over to the side here, and thank you to the mice that ate a hole in my screen there. I was able just to basically move the window frame out, and I'll see if I can get a picture here. It just latches into the top there, and then the whole thing just cantilevers out towards you. There's the one side of the jumper that comes through over here, and then that's where we hook it up for the shack. So we've got the coax all hooked up. So I got ferrites on the drip loop for the antenna, and I also have some down here, so hopefully we won't have any issues with CM. So I'm using a older Yaesu FT2500M. Unfortunately, this big boy right here, I just couldn't get any. I need to figure this one out. So this is just a 2-meter transmitter. So I did talk to somebody just a little bit ago, and then he was on the national calling frequency. I just called out just to, you know, see if I had programmed this thing right, because this older radio, I did find a manual for it. So I got a couple things programmed in there. So the first repeater that I'm going to queue up here is kind of the local repeater. I'm going to say that this repeater is probably 6 or 7 miles away. This one's not too far. Okay, so that one, no problem. This one, this repeater is about, give or take, maybe 15, 20 miles away. Actually, hold on. Let me find out for sure. Okay, this repeater is probably 25 miles away. I'm gonna queue this one up and see if we can maybe get somebody to call back to us.
Hello, welcome to the W9DUB2 meter repeater. Lunch time next, Monday to Friday at 12 o'clock. All amateurs are welcome. 1 o'clock. Information go. W9DUB.ORG.
Kilo Charlie 9 Uniform Sierra Bravo. Kilo Charlie 9 Uniform Sierra Bravo, just looking to get a signal report. By the way, I'm using low power on this, so might have to turn it up to maybe the mid power. But I did get through to this repeater and heard they had a small net going on. So by the time I got everything set up and everything, unfortunately, I missed it. So let's try one more time here. Kilo Charlie 9 Uniform Sierra Bravo. And that's the problem with some of the repeaters. It's hit or miss. Let's try another one. Okay, so I just checked, and this one is 19 to 20 miles away. So let's see if we can get anybody to come back. KC9 USB, looking to get a signal report if anybody's out there.
You've got a solid signal, but your audio's quite weak, just so you know.
KB9 JM, thank you. Yeah, I just, I'm using an older radio here. I'm probably going to have to adjust a few things on it.
Oh, it's making the trip. I mean, other than your audio being a little weak, the signal's solid and it sounds good.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, this is, I just put an antenna up today, just getting everything back online here. So radio is an FT2500.
FT2500, that's got to be elite. I'm not sure. I don't know my Yaesus as well as I know my ICOMs, but I'll bet you that thing's 25 years old. Roger that. Well, hey, it is working now. That's the important thing. Well, good signal. If you need any more checks, let me know. I'll be sitting here for a little while doing some work here in the office. So, 7-3's good night and good luck with the gear. A9GS.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the help. KC9 USB clear. Thank you. 73. That's pretty awesome. Like I said, that's about 20 miles away. Yeah, I'm gonna have to mess with the mic. This is pretty old. So I think that pretty much proves that the proof is in the pudding, as they would say. The antenna's getting out great. Like I said, I really wish I would have recorded talking to that other gentleman on 2-meter national call. I kind of estimated that he was probably 30-ish miles away. He said he was picking me up great. So I'll have to say, Michael, KB9VBR, the antenna is fantastic. My thoughts on it, I have to be honest with you, for the money, it's a great antenna. And like I stated earlier in it, you can build this on your own. One of the things that I kind of led on to this was that this is going to be a stealthy antenna and stealth and, you know, hidden from the HOA and stuff. It's hidden away by using like the trees and some of the other things here. So that's just something to remember when you are setting up an antenna, especially with an HOA. You know, try to use what you have available. Trees, if you have another building that can block somebody's sight, especially from, you know, the street or a sidewalk. I just hope that this helps people who do have to deal with this HOA thing, because getting an antenna up is better than having no antenna at all. The old saying from my days in telecom and the cell service and all that was height equals might. That's not always the case. You can get through pretty well with not having to go up super high, and you'll still get out, which also leads me to right now the ARRL is trying to lobby to get a more equal antenna situation for us who have to live under the oppressive boot of an HOA. If you do anything from this video, please, I'll leave a link in the description. They have it all set up where it's super easy. You just basically have to just press a button and it will go to all your representatives, Congress and the House, federal level, to help get this thing through. This bill is made to make things more equal for ham radio operators in the HOA space. We, as ham radio operators, we cannot put an antenna up in a lot of HOAs. And if we really think about it, during Hurricane Helene, people who were able to operate ham radios, I mean, some of these people may have saved some people's lives. You know, I'm not saying that that is always going to be the case, but it definitely could be an emergent situation in which we could help people. But again, if you're in an HOA, a lot of them are gonna make you take them down, or they'll put a lien on your house. So hopefully we can get this bill through. I know that there's a lot of mixed feelings right now with the ARRL. I'll be honest with you. I like them. I have been a member of them since I basically got licensed. And to me, it's more than just a magazine, and they are actively trying to get this thing pushed through. Please, if you do anything from this video, if you get anything from this video, and I know that there's a lot of ham tubers who are talking about this right now, hit that ARRL link. I will leave it in the description. Even if you're not in an HOA now, your situation may change. So this is something to think about. 73, everybody.